This podcast is sponsored by Renewal by Andersen of Central Pennsylvania. Right now, you can get in on Renewal by Andersen's super deal. $500 off every window and $1,000 off every door. That's at $0 down, no payments, and no interest for 12 months. Drop by renewalbyandersen.com for more information. Offer ends May 31st. Anti-theft glass is keeping away shoplifters and customers. Meanwhile, experts are debating the ethics of a tax credit for kidney donations. Multiple cities in the state made it onto a worst for bedbugs list. Finally, how best to climb a grease pole. I'm Claudia Dimuro, and you're listening to Today in PA. Plenty of stores have now put up anti-theft glass over certain products that seem to be the prime targets of shoplifters, reports the Philadelphia Inquirer. And while, yes, this glass obviously keeps thieves away, it also, apparently, according to the Inquirer's own investigation, dissuades customers from stores too. A Harrison poll conducted last year backs this claim up, finding how 70% of respondents agreed that theft deterrents are more likely to deter them from shopping at a store too. People in the Philadelphia area have confessed that they avoid stores that put up anti-theft glass because it's just not convenient. It's also just more of a reason to buy something online, especially since the whole point of shopping at a store for a lot of people is the ability to browse aisles. Says one customer of this opinion about having to ask an employee to unlock the glass, quote, "Hey, I'm buying a shampoo. Do I really want to wait 10 minutes for someone to come over?" In case you didn't know, it's illegal to sell and buy organs in the United States under the 1984 National Organ Transplant Act, aka NOTA, reports the Philadelphia Inquirer. But a group called Coalition to Modify NOTA wants to upend this act by proposing a tax incentive for kidney donations. Specifically, a $50,000 tax credit, given at $10,000 a year over a 5-year period, would be given to anyone who donates a kidney to a stranger in order to encourage more people to become donors. Those in favor of the proposal argue that, with wait lists for kidneys being so long, it would save about 5,000 lives a year. George Hess, an adjunct professor at Thomas Jefferson University who had his own near-fatal experience waiting for a kidney, puts that number at 60,000 lives and about $25 billion in tax dollars saved over 10 years' time. Plus, it's legal to pay people for sperm or the use of a woman's eggs, so why not kidneys? Well, because there's the other side of the debate, the crux of which is that it's quote-unquote immoral. Many critics of the idea believe it could set a terrible precedent, one that NYU professor Arthur Kaplan deems, quote, a market in body parts, and may also undermine efforts to quell the black market for organs in foreign countries. What do you guys think? Let me know, truly, at todayinpa at PennLive.com. There's a list from Pest Gnome about the worst U.S. cities for bedbugs that just came out, states PennLive. And not one, not two, but 7 of them are in Pennsylvania. Philadelphia ranked the absolute worst out of them all, which is something that a separate list by Orkin also recognizes, in the 12th overall spot, while Pittsburgh came in 64th. Reading then came next in 90th, Allentown in 160th, Erie in 233rd, Scranton in 316th, and last but not least, Bethlehem in 475th. Out of a list of 500 cities, by the way. Nationwide, New York was in first place. The South 9th Street Italian Market Festival took place in Philadelphia over the weekend, as did one of its traditions, says Billy Penn. One mentioned before on this podcast, actually. Grease pole climbing. Yes, that is exactly what it sounds like. Teams compete against each other to see who can climb a 30-foot greased-up pole to snatch prizes like cash at the top. And here's some advice from former champion and legend of the competition, Frankie Longo, for all you pole climbers out there. Don't rush, make sure to work with your team, and if you're one of the guys at the bottom everyone stands on top of, make sure to stand absolutely still and stable. And though he himself no longer climbs, Frankie admitted the itch is still there. Said he, quote, I always get the inclination to jump on the pole, I'm not gonna lie to you. Last year my wife looked at me and said, will you stop? That wraps up today's episode. For even more news, visit PennLive.com. Also, please don't forget to rate this podcast and to leave it an honest review, too. Thanks in advance, and as always, thanks for listening. I'm Claudia Dimuro, and we'll chat tomorrow during more Today in PA. This podcast is sponsored by Renewal by Andersen of Central Pennsylvania. Right now, you can get in on Renewal by Andersen's super deal. $500 off every window and $1,000 off every door. That's at $0 down, no payments, and no interest for 12 months. Drop by renewalbyandersen.com for more information. Offer ends May 31st.